Hello and welcome to On a Mission, the show where we share inspiring conversations with phenomenal women who are creating success and prosperity in their lives with purpose and passion. I'm Pauline Rohdich, a success mindset coach and clinical hypnotherapist, and I'm on a personal mission to remind you that you are a beautiful soul and you have so much potential. And my intention for this show is to give you the nudge to answer your own calling and to rise up and take on your life's mission. So hello again, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Phenomenal Women on a Mission. And today I am with Sinead, an amazing lady. Sinead Carroll is really a friend. I have had the great pleasure of having her by my side on a number of occasions in the past as I've been developing my own business. And Sinead Carroll is a mother of three. She has several interests, and mini media being only one of them. She also is helping a lot of Irish women who are influencers and bloggers. She'll tell you all about that herself more than I can very shortly. But you're really welcome to this particular episode. And Sinead, it's so amazing to have you here. How are you?
Pauline, thank you so much for having me on your show. I'm very excited to get into conversation with you. So thank you.
We're just two pals at this stage, which is what I like to say and feel with most of the women that actually come on here. But Sinead, you've had a journey. So, I mean, obviously you started out working in the bank, in the sort of a certain, job for however long you wanted to do it. What happened? What made you change? What got your interest into the whole area of digital marketing and media?
Yeah, so I spent 15 years in banking and finance. I ended my career in banking back in 2015. I was in a department which was called Global Restructuring Group. So the name itself leads you on to know what happened. I managed a property portfolio that needed to be restructured. The debt was sold on, and in turn, I was made redundant. So I did have two options. I had one option to reapply for a job within the company, or I was lucky enough to receive a redundancy package and explore my passion, which then turned into a business. And I'm now 5 years in business and loving every second of it, Polly.
I know. And I mean, certainly that comes across, as I said, I've had the absolute pleasure of working alongside you, and your work ethic is just incredible. Your energy is amazing. You're a fabulous support, certainly to me, and I know many others that you've have helped in the past, because I've recommended you. So I know. Great people.
This is why I love hanging out with you, Pauline. You do my confidence great. So thank you.
Well, I mean, look at that. One of my strengths is to be an encourager of others.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's what I do. And I mean, I'm more than happy to do that and delighted that it's boosting your confidence.
Yeah.
So tell us all about, it started out, Mini Media is really your business name. Is that correct?
Yeah. So I have a company, which is CJJR Media, after my children, Chloe, Jack, and Jenna Rose. So I have two trading businesses. One is Mini Media. So that to date has been my bread and butter. It's a digital marketing agency. I do web design, graphic design, social media management and consulting. So that's taken me to where I am. And I did have a passion for blogging back in 2013. I started a fashion and lifestyle blog. I was blogging about from the mother's perspective. I set up a network in the west of Ireland called Into the West Blogger Network, where I brought together influencers from all around the country. We hosted a lot of events and they were really successful. So I ended up with a database of about 1,000 influencers on an Excel spreadsheet, where I was trying to connect them with brands, and then the brands would obviously get in front of their audience, and it was working really well. So it was back in 2014, I suppose, when influencer marketing wasn't even a thing. Bloggers were just beginning to pop out of the woodwork. And then in 2015, when I started rolling out my own agency, I started to connect brands and influencers part of strategy. And that's how I knew then there was a gap in the market for influencer marketing. And I set up Irish Blogger Agency, which is Ireland's dedicated influencer marketing agency.
I mean, how did someone that was in banking will say for so long, 15 years, really, where did this all start?
Yeah, so I suppose, yeah, so my when I went to college, I went to Sligo IT. I did my diploma in computer applications. So I always loved graphic design, web design, all of that. But when I went off to Dublin with my two friends and we ended up going into a recruitment agency, they shipped us out into the banking world. Two of us ended up in the bank and one of us ended up in SIP2. So we were all located in the IFSC, where all the financial district is in Dublin, and we literally my path on the banking career went from there. I ended up starting off as admin, and then I worked my way up and I did my degree then in finance. So I just went with the flow, to be totally honest, Pauline. I ended up working in Dublin first and then getting transferred back down to Galway. I got married and I wanted to start a family. Ended up in AIB, commercial banking, then got promoted into a position as assistant manager in First Active. And then I was merged with Ulster Bank as part of First Active takeover with Ulster Bank. And I suppose I got bored at a point where I was going, oh, I need to bring back my creative side. And I ended up one day going home and Googling how to become a blogger, how to set up a blog. And that's what I did. I started blogging about fashion and lifestyle and started using Twitter and social media to network. And straight away I was meeting people, connecting, and I was just getting such a buzz from it.
Fantastic. Amazing. What would you say is the most difficult decision you've ever had to make in life or business, either or?
Yeah. Do you know what? I didn't have to make very many difficult decisions. Thankfully, I seem to have been on this path where I went with the flow and I took the opportunities that came my way. And, some of them worked out better than others, but I definitely believe that my 15 years in banking has majorly contributed to my success in setting up my own business. So I have zero regrets. From my personal side, I married my pretty much my best friend's husband, or my best friend's brother. He became my husband, and we've had three wonderful kids together.
Comes across, I have to say, it comes across that you have just this wonderful kind of balance, but it comes down to your attitude, though, and I know I've had experience of your attitude. So hats off to you. I mean, fantastic. It's great. We don't all have to have the doomy gloomy story. It's wonderful, but I'm sure, no doubt, there were times you felt challenged along this business journey, the entrepreneur's journey. Yeah.
Definitely. It's been a roller coaster ride. At certain points through the bank, I wanted to leave. I wanted to try something else, but it didn't happen. And now looking back, it all happens for a reason. I'm a really big believer in that. So yeah, obviously there was challenges, and sometimes you don't want to be where you are, but I think it all worked out for the best. So thankfully, no regrets.
No, that's fantastic. And so now, I mean, it seems that you have really expanded on the whole blogger side of things. I'm really curious to know what constitutes an influencer. I mean, what is the whole thing? How does somebody define themselves as that? Is it the number of followers they have? Is it the particular subject?
So it definitely starts from a passion. I mean, anybody who is doing really well online and is turning it into, a way of making an income, it all started from a passion. You have to be authentic. You have to come across as trustworthy. So anybody who is following on social media, my platform is mainly made up of micro influencers. So anybody with 1,000+ followers on any of their social media platforms, up to 100,000 are considered probably micro influencers. So they've got their own following, their own niche carved out, loyal following that people trust. So if you have a following online and you're influencing people, no matter how many people, if you can influence one, you can influence 100, and so on. So yeah, anybody can become an influencer as long as you're passionate.
We've never really discussed this before, but in my ignorance, I would have thought that you'd have to have 50,000 followers. I would have thought it would have been high numbers. And then, of course, them being genuine numbers, genuine followers. But, I must say this to you. I mean, obviously, I think anybody that's on social media would have had experience of this, where you'd be getting the private messages from so-called brands, suggesting that you would promote. I've always just deleted those messages. Do you think are any of them genuine, Sinead?
Yeah, certainly. And that's like at the moment, 80% of businesses are investing in influencer marketing. So there is only one way to do it. You either, jump on it now and find influencers on social media, or alternatively, if you want to make it easy for yourself, and if you're looking for Irish influencers, you can come through me, and my platform can find and source influencers at the click of a button. But I would say that the majority of DMs or emails that you get regarding influencer opportunities or working with brands are definitely true.
Really? I have it all in the whole category of spam and junk, to be very honest with you, Now, one or two of them I did explore insofar as I just checked them out, and it was definitely not aligned with any of my values. One or two dodgy things, but no, it's very interesting what you're doing. I mean, it's amazing how business has changed. It's just amazing. I suppose it was happening pre-COVID, but certainly COVID has just accelerated this whole online presence and the opportunities online for so many of us.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's obviously calling for us to up the ante as well. And, I from my own perspective, it's made me definitely get out of a comfort zone and be more visible and attempt to share my message, and which is always one where anything is possible. And but there's a fantastic amount of people. It's all happening online, and I think it's about even the likes of this show, as I said to you before we get on, and what I say to everybody that comes on, it's just raw and real. The show, there's no editing. It's if you scratch your nose or sneeze, it's there. If you brush your face or whatever, it's all there. And I just think in the past, perhaps there was way too much of the whole perfectionism element with online, and people perhaps, many people that could be potential influencers that have a wonderful message to share, and were reluctant, if you like, to share because they felt they weren't perfect enough or good enough. Would you agree that that's changing?
It definitely is changing, and I think definitely we've all learned so much from lockdown and COVID, and reintroducing yourselves to your passion and then putting it online. That's where we're all hanging out online watching like TikToks. I mean, TikTok exploded and we're all watching TikTok now. I'd say, are you, Pauline? I never asked you.
I'm not allowed to go near TikTok. My sister said, Mommy, no, absolutely not. I mean, seriously, I would be absolutely, he'll divorce me if children can divorce their parents, which I think they can in America. But definitely that I'm not allowed on TikTok. But that doesn't mean that I don't see the TikToks coming up. And I actually, my personality would suit TikTok, because I actually like to have a little bit of fun and do the odd crazy thing.
Yeah.
But I'll just give him maybe another year. He might outgrow that hormone.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
So definitely people are exploring their passions and getting online, because we were on in lockdown. We had to have some outlet to put ourselves out there. And definitely
it's encouraging, isn't it, though?
Yeah, content doesn't have to be perfect. Raw, authentic content is definitely better.
But I think what I've seen too among a lot of people is that people are realizing that they have some gifts and skills, and like maybe they lost a job and now they're realizing, actually now it's time for me to explore my passion, whether it's the baking, the sewing, the jewelry making, the candle making, etc., and turn them into great businesses.
Yeah, I bet you if we thought about it, there's so many fantastic stories we could tell. It's been phenomenal, really.
We need to chat again about this whole blogging thing. And again, I think a lot of people feel with blogging, I need to be a writer, I need to have, a degree in literature or something, but that's not the case at all. Sure, it's not.
No, blogging now has really gone from, people creating blogs on their website or part of the internet to, social influencing, which is creating content in the format of reels or stories, or, getting involved with brands on campaigns. I mean, that's where it's all at the moment. So a lot of me connecting brands and influencers, a lot of the content will be created on Instagram, for example, or YouTube or TikTok. So it's moving away from, being that writer and having to sit down and create content and putting words on a page. They're getting to express their creativity and that online.
Different ways. That's very interesting. So a few more of the questions that I generally ask, Sinead. So right now, for example, who would you most like to eat? Not eat. actually, that was a combination of who would you like to have dinner with, that was someone that you would love to get advice from. So let me read. Who would you most like to meet and perhaps have dinner with?
Yeah, so right now I would absolutely love to sit down with Neil Schaefer. He's an author of The Age of Influence, or The Age of Influencer, should I say. He is an American author, and he's big into digital marketing. He's one of the trusted leaders in education, consulting, and that in digital, social, and influencer marketing. So I'm reading his book as well at the minute, and I'd love to sit down. He's so much knowledge around the power of influencers and how it elevates your brand. I really want to absorb all the content right now. There's really no blueprint or nobody really for me to feel out in the Irish market. So I'd love to sit down with him and have dinner.
And then you could become that in Ireland.
Yeah, that's what I'm on a mission to do, become one of Ireland's most recognised influencer marketing agents.
Fantastic. I love it. On a mission. I love it. Fantastic. So when do you feel, you most have a connection with your soul, God, or a higher intelligence?
So I absolutely love now going for my walk through Barna Woods and bringing the dog with me, sitting down in Silver Strand Beach and reflecting around me. It's just gorgeous beauty on my doorstep. So I definitely feel a connection with my soul when I'm doing that, taking the time out, getting out of these four walls and just, breathing in the air. I suppose I also sometimes feel a sense of discomfort maybe. Then when I'm looking at the unknown and I don't have a clear picture, but then it always unfolds that I have this feeling of a connection with the soul, and I have a trust in the process then.
And that you're doing what you're meant to do.
Yeah.
You're doing and so you're feeling that trust and you have that in your own ability. What advice would you give to your younger self, Sinead?
Oh God, I suppose invest your time with the people that want to see you do better. Hang out with, you become the best of, is it 5 people?
Yeah. 5 closest.
Yeah, so be kind to yourself and know your worth. I wish I did more of it quicker. I'm definitely doing it now.
Nothing's holding you back.
Pardon?
Nothing is holding you back.
Yeah, no, I think definitely invest in time with the people that bring out the best of you and know who you are and know your worth.
And Sinead, obviously you mentioned you have 3 children, and I know you've 2 daughters and a son. So obviously your daughter, I know they're all benefiting, but would you say that are any of your children interested in what you do, or do you find that what you now know you're kind of passing on to them?
So my eldest daughter, Chloe, she's 16 and she's just finished transition year. So I had the pleasure of her and her friend doing a work experience with me. And it was actually, it brought me so much joy because she thought she didn't like it. She thought she couldn't do it. And then it turns out that the 2 of them built a website. Her friend Keen ended up being a really good artist, designed their logo. We sourced some jewellery, and hopefully now in the next few weeks they're going to be launching their website.
With jewellery that they're
with jewellery, yeah.
Just fantastic. How did she feel as a result of that?
So that's not where she wants to go, and I know it isn't. She doesn't, so it's like I'm more excited than she is. Yeah. But at least she's got a feel for it, and she's been opened up to the opportunity. Her passion probably really is sport. I mean, she's a really good soccer player. She's after making the squad for the Galway women's soccer team under 17. So that's probably her passion. But yeah, it's been great to see her get involved in a project and say she's done something. And well, you never know. Let's see how it goes. When she starts making sales, it could all change, Pauline.
Oh, absolutely. And then she can buy what she really wants and all that kind of thing. Wonderful. Yeah. I mean, it's just fantastic to be able to expose your own child and children to something something different, perhaps, that maybe they're not being taught in school, a very hands-on experience.
Yeah.
that really excites me. I love that.
Yeah.
What are you reading at the moment? I know you mentioned Neil Schaefer's book, but what else? Is there anything else perhaps that you're reading?
Yeah, I'm reading another great book at the moment, Awaken Your Power Within, and it's by Irish author Jerry Hussey. So this is a really good one. Let go of fear, discover your infinite potential, and become your true self. So I'm almost at the end of that book now, and it's really good. So definitely worth reading, and it tells his story as well, which is really great. It brings out some good points that you can relate to.
Fantastic, great, exciting stuff. I haven't actually got that on my bookshelf at the moment, but thanks for the recommendation. So favorite quote, what's your favorite quote and why?
I have a good few quotes, one or two on the wall. So probably my favorite one that I do look at every now and again is you can never cross the ocean unless you have the courage to lose sight of the shore. So I try and say this to myself all the time when I get that fear in my stomach going, you got to do it, you have to lose sight of the shore to get to the next step. So
and probably, do you know who who is the author of that quote? Do you know who it is?
God, I'm not 100% sure. It's in such small writing now on my wall that I can't read it, but I will look at it.
No, I'm always curious, but I mean, that's a pretty elaborate quote, and one that will definitely keep you moving in the right direction, because fear is definitely something that we all encounter. And actually, I actually quite enjoy talking about fear, because I know that when a person is afraid, they're on the verge of a breakthrough.
Yeah.
And it's all part of growth. They go hand in hand. Fear and growth go hand in hand. It means you're on the right track, when you're getting afraid, and it means you're growing, which is fantastic, because the alternative is apathy and feeling stuck and frustrated and confused, and they're equally not nice, But feel the fear and do it anyway. Fantastic. So what advice would you give perhaps to anybody that is like yourself? I mean, maybe in a job and contemplating, maybe they're not being faced with redundancy, but know in their heart there's something else that they can do. What would you say?
What would I say? I suppose I'd say go with your gut. That's what I always do. I go with my gut and I try and then make that decision. But I'm always, this is just me anyway, I'm always responsible, and I trust in the timing. So probably from the outside, people may think, and I've questioned this myself, how is it taking her so long to get to A, to B, to C? But I always feel like, I have to go with my gut and trust it, all the while following my passion. So does that answer the question, Pauline?
No. That's I mean, there's no right or wrong answer here, and that's your experience. And I mean, your gut is really, a lot of people refer to their gut, and it's the intuition, which is one of our mental faculties, and it's available to everybody, but not a lot of people actually know that they've got it so much, and they don't realize that they can hone it, and that it really becomes our guidance system. And so we're rarely off track when we do actually tune in and trust. It's a great way to live. It allows us to get out of our own way and just realize that actually there is such a thing as divine timing, and we're not going to be wrong so long as we are trusting that. No, that's wonderful. So what excites you most about the future, Sinead? Your business, your life?
Right now, I'm just super excited, Pauline, and I don't know, the timing couldn't be better for us to have this conversation. Like, for the last few years, my main focus has been on mini media. I mean, it has seen me do lots of work with some amazing clients, and I've learned so much about myself. But I suppose where I see myself going now is more focus on Irish blogger agency, and I want to grow and expand that. I really want to create a place where influencers can come together and are secure and safe, and that they can learn in a confidential space and a safe space. And then I want to be able to share with the world about my amazing platform. I've been lucky enough to partner up with Mix Alliance. They're a Swedish company. They've offered me a branded platform, which is now on irishbloggeragency.com, where I have 600 plus influencers on the platform, and they're in a variety of different niches. We can create campaigns on the platform. We can, get all the stats, find the audience, and make the connection on the platform. And then the end result is obviously looking at the statistics, what worked good. So I'm really excited about, the future of influencer marketing in Ireland. And obviously with the connection being online and everything online, I'm looking forward to exploring the global market as well.
No doubt you will, because you're some lady, I have to say. A real pleasure knowing you and certainly being around you. You're full of positivity, full of fun. We've had some laughs and
stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and they will continue. And also you do it with such ease and grace, and you really instill a lot of joy into your work, and yet you're so helpful, Sinead. So I mean, I strongly and highly recommend you, I have to say.
Oh, thank you, Pauline.
I want to thank you for being on today. Is there anything you'd like to say perhaps to people that are listening, especially people that maybe are interested in being an influencer, or perhaps getting their brand perhaps out there? What would you say? Just some advice?
Yeah, if you have a passion and you have a following on social media, or write a blog, and you believe you could, influence, for want of a better word, customers or potential customers, then you can join my platform. You can click the Join Now button. It's very straightforward. You upload your profile, you connect all your social media, and then it comes to me for approval. I'm planning to roll out an Irish Blogger Agency Academy, where I'm going to be creating that secure and safe place for influencers to learn. So if you're raw to it, or if you're, well on the way to becoming, Ireland's next biggest influencer, there's space for you within my academy, where I'm going to have so many great speakers that can teach you and you can learn from. And then from a brand's point of view, if you're a small business owner with just yourself in it, to big brands, you can find the influencers on my platform. I'll make it as easy as possible, and help you with your strategy and planning out the campaign. That all can be possible as well through Irish Blogger Agency.
Congratulations. Very proud of you, I have to say, and I'm delighted for you, and continued success, Sinead.
Thank you, Pauline.
And everybody listening in, I hope you enjoyed this episode of On a Mission with this phenomenal woman that is Sinead Carroll of Mini Media and Irish Blogger Agency. And if you are a phenomenal woman listening to this and would love to be on here to have a chat, raw and real, as I like to call it, then just reach out, and I'd love to have you as a guest and share your passion and your mission with the world. So thanks for tuning in, and until the next time, be safe, be kind, and lots of love to you. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to this show so that you will be notified when the next episode is released. And remember, keep believing you're amazing and you have so much to give. Now is your time.